Worxwide works for you.
Hello everyone. Today we are diving into a subject which every business leader resonates with, which is equipping sales team with tech that sells, not just tracks. We have seen, the reality is that most CRM systems and sales systems are for more tracking purposes, and hence the sales team feels like it's a compliance burden, right?
Right.
So how do you see this situation?
That's true actually, because technology is something which is all encompassing. It is always sort of available, right? Everywhere in this today's day and sort of age. However, what is amazing is these systems rather are current systems are designed always for management visibility. Rather than it's not designed for salesperson's usability. If a sales representative or a salesperson feels it is not adding value or doesn't help him close the deal faster, the adoption drops instantly. So how does one kind of get out of this entire act, right? So that is where early on at Jaquar, we believe that we wanted technology to be an assistant rather than an auditor.
Perfect. I think that's a great example. I think being an assistant really helps the sales team rather than being just auditor. Otherwise, it creates always pressure to the sales team that it's being reported and being just monitored. My name is Mohit, and today we have Raje, who is the CIO of Jaquar Group, which is a very respectable brand in India for bath and lighting solutions. Ninad has approximately 3 decades of experience in digital transformation, and currently he is leading digital initiatives at Jaquar. Welcome, Ninad. Thank you for your time today. It's great to have you today. So let's get started, Ninad. We have seen, the reality is that most CRM systems and sales systems are for more tracking purposes, and hence the sales team feels like it's a compliance burden, right? So how do you see this situation?
That's true actually, because technology is something which is all encompassing. It is always sort of available, right? Everywhere in this today's day and sort of age. However, what is amazing is these systems rather are current systems are designed always for management visibility. Rather than it's not designed for salesperson's usability. If a sales representative or a salesperson feels it is not adding value or doesn't help him close the deal faster, the adoption drops instantly. So how does one kind of get out of this entire act, right? So that is where early on at Jaquar, we believe that we wanted technology to be an assistant rather than an auditor.
Perfect. I think that's a great example. I think being an assistant really helps the sales team rather than being just auditor. Otherwise, it creates always pressure to the sales team that it's being reported and being just monitored. Perfect. So, in your view, you have around 3 decades of experience, wonderful journey in that. So, in your experience, can you share some specific examples that what systems or tools you have leveraged, here and before this journey, to empower your sales team that has actually shaped, sales team to sell better?
Yeah, that's a very pertinent question. Whilst we have designed and delivered a lot of systems around here, cross-pollinated a lot of systems around here, maybe to name a few, first being this entire piece of AI generated and mobile CRM. So when I came into this organization, we saw that everything is manual. So how does one bring this to the fore? How does one help the salespeople close the deals faster? So that's when we actually brought in this entire mobile CRM concept, wherein we enabled almost anything and everything, all the tasks and workflows all on the mobile handset. So because we knew that the sales people are always on the field, always on the move, so that is where they found that the other aspect also is we also mentioned to them that we wanted to hear and listen to them, right? So we listened to what the field task force is all about, right? So I wanted to also mention to them that we wanted to listen to them. What are their pain points? What is slowing them down? So what they said was quite revealing. So first and foremost, what they said is data entry. They don't want to do data entry. All sales folks
Yeah.
never wanted to do data entry. Simple things like product availability.
Right.
The other aspect is also about price negotiation delays, right? So how does one cater to these problems? So that's when we actually started catering to and answering these questions. We build tools and systems which actually go ahead and cater to these specific needs and requirements. And once we started doing this, and always on the mobile interfaces, we saw that the adoption started increasing, and that's when the adoption started increasing naturally. So we built this mobile first approach for them, and that is done wonderfully well and successfully for us.
Perfect. And I'm sure it must have improved sales productivity significantly.
Yes, it has, definitely it has, and in many forms as such, because now there is no manual intervention required anywhere. There are things and tasks that they used to kind of take days and months to do, which now happens in minutes. Most of the things are collated and computed by system, which means that the sales folks are now enabled with technology driven insights, and they can actually focus more on sort of solution selling, rather than having to kind of talk about data, and then they have to compute a lot of things and so on and so forth. So they thought that this is really happening for them, the mobile first approach. Also at the same time, when the data and insights are just readily available to them, they can focus more on what they want to do. They want to focus more on faster closures, smarter closures, cracking the deals, and that's where their job is. And the rest of the peripheral stuff should be done by the technology folks, and that's what we deliver to them.
Makes a lot of sense, Ninad. So when we talk about digital and technologies, right, data comes the first place naturally, right? A lot of companies are collecting a lot of data, tons of data.
Yeah.
But they are not, they're not using it effectively, right? So there's a lot of data being collected. How do you make sure that data is being translated into insights, and insights are being translated into actions for the sales team, and we empower the sales team to sell more?
Right. You know what, and that's absolutely true, and I completely resonate with your thoughts. The key out here is useful data rather than equipping them with more data.
Yeah.
Make the data more useful, more meaningful, and that is where the insights come into picture. And what we delivered is we brought in this entire AI driven prompts, and you mentioned about insights. Data should lead to insights, and insights to what I would believe is data leads to insights, leads to knowledge, and hence actions. So actionable insights via relevant and useful, meaningful data is something which we provided to the sales folks. And how it really helped them is now what they kind of can do, focus more on, is building the relationship. In India, at least in domestic India, what works is relationships, right?
Absolutely.
Rather than just numbers. And that is where it has really helped the sales folks to sell more, to also making sure that they are now focusing on upselling premium lines. They are also focusing more on sort of product delivery. They are also focusing more on building relationship, and via that they are also upscaling and upselling the premium lines.
Wow, looks wonderful. So your business, your industry, this bath and lightning solution industry is very relationship driven, as you were also mentioning, right? Be it like dealers, distributors, architects, plumbers, right? The whole ecosystem is very relationship driven.
Right.
So how do you leverage the whole digital ecosystem or technology in real life example? Like if you want to share an example that, how do you solve these issues in your traditional industry?
Well, whilst there are several examples, let me kind of elucidate on one.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, when we talk about manufacturing, right, and product manufacturing, we normally sort of distribute via dealerships and B2C.
Yeah.
And that's where experience comes into picture, and how does one provide the experience on ground, in person? It's all about showrooms.
Yeah.
Right. So in the earlier avatar, we had something called OCs, which is experiential centers, right, for us.
Right.
We actually migrated towards what we now call as Jaquar worlds. In the earlier avatar, it was all manually driven. So say, for example, if customers used to come to the experiential centers, the sales representatives would have to need to do a lot of manual things, show them manual catalogs and several catalogs and all. waste of time, and then the customers, of course, they can't kind of go through a lot of catalogs. So now when they walk into the Jaquar worlds, the sales folks are equipped with this polished sort of laptop, rather the pads, iPads and tablets and all, and then there are apps available out there. Just flip it open and they showcase this entire 3D modeling in front of the customers. And what helps the customers is they can actually view this entire 3D imaging of how their entire space is going to look like. Where does the bathtub go into this entire experience center,
Right.
and then it instantly generates, suppose say for example they would pick and choose these products and fittings and all, so it automatically on the fly generates the code and boom, it is available to them, and they just sign up and the deal is done. So that's the sea change that we have brought in as such from the experience sort of standpoint, and it has really helped us as of now, because just to cite certain numbers here, earlier the footfalls, if at all there were 100 footfalls, of that maybe we used to close deals of like 4-5%, right?
Okay.
It has suddenly shot up to 90%.
Wow.
And that is where technology has really helped this entire piece of experiential showcasing and selling.
Such a great example that how you have empowered your salespeople with technology through this immersive experience.
Right.
Now I think we are getting into this immersive experiences, as you have given the example of 3D experience earlier. Like people were just flipping your traditional handbooks, and now you have transformed it into more digital experience. Wow,
Right.
wonderful. So if we move ahead, when we talk about digital and technologies, more often than not, adoption becomes a challenge, right? So one of the challenges, especially in manufacturing industry, I can't imagine how do you deal with it? How do you ensure that your dealers, distributors and other stakeholders they get well versed with the new digital technologies, and you help them embrace these new tools.
Right.
So adoption must be a big challenge.
Adoption has always been a big challenge for any industry, especially the manufacturing
Right.
industry. And our organization is pretty widespread. The landscape is really, really big, large, 55 countries. There are 12,000 plus people. Especially the sales outfit is almost around 1,500, always on the field, and so on and so forth. So how does one get in this adoption? And that was a big challenge for us. But fortunately, we took it head on. And the way we did it is, when we were kind of implementing this, in fact on the planning board itself, we went to the teams and said, if at all anything has to be done, and if it takes more than 3 clicks,
Right.
all right, there's something which is drastically wrong here. So nothing should be beyond 3 clicks, at the most 3 clicks, right? Then what we also did is, like I said, we made it anytime, anywhere accessible. The navigation should be appropriate, should be really, really easy on the eye. What they need, what the sales folks need, is just tap thrice, at the most thrice, and it should be available to them at their disposal, whether it's quotes, whether it is lead generation, whether it's accounts creation, whether it's opportunities creation, whether it is dealer management, whether it is price discussions or negotiations, whether it is product availability, they want to check the product availability, they want to check the order statuses, it should just be there in front of them, so they don't have to spend time on this. So this is where technology driven, data driven insights come into picture. So on one hand, there are all these elements which are available at their disposal, at their fingertips. On the other hand, they are also been nudged, saying that you can talk about this because this particular dealer has ordered this particular product, and there are chances, there's opportunities here that the dealer is going to reorder this, or dealer is going to order the other product, which actually goes hand in glove with the other, the original product as well. So there are prompts and nudges that we prompt to the sales representatives whilst they are talking to the discussing their deals with the customers, with the potential customers, and that is something which has really helped them a lot in the field. And earlier there was this entire use case, right? Earlier they used to kind of call somebody in the HO here or in the office saying that you have this particular product with us or not, right? It has been deactivated, or do we have it in the shelf? Do we have it in the warehouse? Can we ship it? So there's a lot of turnaround that used to happen, but now everything is available at their disposal. They can say, all right, we have this. We can pick and choose. They can do the 3D modeling there itself. And by the way, this can be shipped to you in the next 24 hours from the nearest warehouse that we have. So imagine the kind of the time that we have just cut from months, days, right to minutes right now.
Wow, it's a great insight to learn about your adoption strategy, and you really killed, like, from a user experience design perspective also. If we talk about the intersection of like technology, business, and experience, right? I think pretty much you have covered all to ensure the adoption.
Yeah. One more aspect here is what we did also is, and this is something which we have learned the hard way as well. What is required to be done is training. So user trainings, because, and I keep harping about this to my own teams also with the cross departments that we have here, saying that it's not only about planning or executing and implementing and delivering a technology platform. It's not that. Unless until it does not get adopted, it doesn't make sense. And that's where the training comes into picture. So what we embarked upon is, we had a massive exercise workshop, which is on ground, in-person training, virtual trainings. We traveled a lot to many number of countries and sat with them. And it's not theoretical training, it's all about on-job practical training. We sat with them, we took them through what needs to be done step by step. If a feature is available, how do we utilize this feature? So that's how we have kind of gone ahead and delivered this. And that has really contributed a lot in making sure that the adoption rates are really, really high.
No, that's really wonderful. And nowadays, I think gamified onboarding has also come into the picture, where users can actually take, sessions, at their ease, like, on their desktops or so, and the whole self onboarding journey, which walks them through what the product is all about.
Yeah, and that's why we actually did a lot of content management here. So we created a content on the AV mode and gamified mode as well. So, and it's all self-driven, self-service driven. But then there are also so we did assessments. They have to go through assessments. There are scoring patterns, and based on the scoring patterns also, there are certain incentives that we kind of provided them. So we incentivize them to not only go through these courses of training, but also make their life easier whilst they are on the field.
Oh, wonderful, perfect. So if I move ahead, like, according to you, how does the future of sales tech and transformation in your industry looks like in Belfaxi? What are the top trends you think are going forward to be?
Oh, you know what? This is a very new age, very pertinent question. In fact, I'm glad that you're asking, because there are several new age tech that I can talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe to cite few of them. The first being, what I believe, in my opinion, is this entire piece of voice enabled and conversational AI.
That's in trend.
So that's the most in thing nowadays. So nobody wants to, in fact, I also propagate that one should not be required to punch in data or information. No need of tablets or no need of even of your mobile phones. Don't do that, don't use that, just use your voice. Converse with the AI. So say, for example, if you want to kind of generate a quotation, right? You just give a command or a prompt, voice prompt to the AI system, saying that, this is the product, these are the fittings, this is the delivery is required, and go ahead and generate a quote. And the AI goes there and just mines that data internally, and just boom, it just creates a quotation, and it says, do you want me to kind of deliver this? You said yes, deliver on this particular date at this time, and the address is already there, and it just ships that particular product to the nearest dealership or to the customer. So that's where you're having a conversation. The other aspect is, in fact, we are toying with a sort of a concept and experimentation that we are kind of trying to do in terms of warehouse management as well. In terms of we have, for example, hundreds and thousands of products, and there are several warehouses across the world. How does one know which product is available in what quantity at what warehouse, and how do we ship that? So that's where this entire AI comes into picture, and this voice-based enabled system comes into picture, wherein the warehouse managers can just go ahead and give a voice prompt, saying that I want to know which product is available at what warehouse, and they ship it across to the dealership. Well, that's one aspect of it. The second trend that I'm looking forward to is this entire entire trend of WhatsApp commerce. And WhatsApp is obviously quite prevalent nowadays. Or take, for instance, any chatbot as well. So how does a dealer reorder products, right? You can just prompt on the WhatsApp saying that, okay, just reorder this product. The system already knows because it's a reorder, which means that almost all the information is already available.
Yeah.
You just ship it across.
Right.
So that's where the WhatsApp commerce comes into picture. Third, maybe I can talk about is this entire AR and VR concept. You know,
Yep.
so this artificial AR and VR concept, which is quite prevalent nowadays, at least from the manufacturing standpoint, wherein there is in-person, on-ground interaction that happens. You know, one can actually go ahead and see on a real-time virtual mode what kind of land that we have, as in landscape that we have, what is the room size and so on. So can we fit a whirlpool somewhere here?
Yes.
Can we fit a sort of a bathtub somewhere here? And where does it go? What better angle? You know, what product, what color? Nowadays colors are
Yes,
very important,
absolutely.
right?
So again, immersive experience, creating that immersive experience
Exactly,
for the
the
users.
entire immersive experience comes into picture, and this is where the AR and VR comes into picture. So I think these three sort of trends are pretty much the in thing nowadays. And also one more thing is, I mean, we're talking about sales, right? So and AI is something which is, AI can think for salespeople,
Right.
and not just kind of record for them anymore. Earlier in the earlier avatar, it used to record, systems used to record. Now AI can actually think for the salesperson,
Yes.
you know, and then provide those insights which will help the salespeople go ahead and close faster and smarter.
No, absolutely, you have summarized it very well, Nirad. Even you know, the traditional sales systems and CRMs used to just record data. The purpose was mostly to record data. But
Right.
now with AI-led CRMs and AI-led sales systems, you know, it is helping you to take an action, whether it is nudges to the users, whether it is, you know, letting you know the insights, you know, these dealers are not performing well, these are inconsistent users,
Right.
these are inactive users, take actions on them and send nudges to them, maybe send the nudges from CRM to WhatsApp and, you know, to the end
Right.
users to activate them. So I think technology is really transforming the way business operates, especially in manufacturing industry, in your industry. Even you talked about conversational AI.
Right.
I think we are moving away from e-commerce to e-commerce,
Yeah.
right? How the whole voice to voice, is transforming the whole, you know, commerce aspect of it. So I think it's really good to see how technology is helping us sell better rather than, which is actually the subject. How technology is actually helping us sell better rather than
Yeah.
just reporting it or rather just monitoring it, right?
Right.
Because otherwise salespeople feel it's a compliance burden.
Oh, absolutely. And we have faced this time and again earlier. The first thing that when we actually in the planning board is, we don't want yet another system to come in and sit on their head. And the sales folks feel as if they are already overburdened with the targets and all, and we have to comply with this system, yet another system that comes in. We don't want to do that. So when we actually spoke to the sales folks saying that, what do you need? What do you want? And how can we help you? Pat came the response saying that, please don't give us something which is a burden for us, make our lives easy. And that's exactly what we were able to sort of provide. And that's what the topic is all about, right? In terms of how do we help and support and enable the sales folks in doing what they are doing on a much better scale and at a faster breakneck speed.
Absolutely. It is so wonderful to hear all these practical insights from, you know, directly coming from you, from your industry. So thank you so much for your time today, Nirad. That's all for today. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you, everyone, those who are listening to us. If today's conversation resonated with you, and if sales tech and sales transformation is something of your interest, stay in touch. Until then, thank you.
Worxwide works